This is Ziggy Ager here for Seconds Out, joined by Shane McGuigan here. Shane, nice to meet you, mate. How are you?
Good, thank you. Yeah, nice to see you down here.
Yeah, we're here for Azim Media Day, obviously November 15th, coming round quickly. How are we feeling going into it?
Yeah, good. It's been obviously a change of opponent, so but he's in great shape and he's excited to be on a massive bill.
What is the situation with the opponent? Obviously meant to fight Abdullah, but who is he going in with now?
I think that'll be announced soon, so I don't want to spoil it on this one.
It's been a bit of a while since he last fought. Fought back in February, I think it was. Does Adam need to prove a point? I guess. It's been a little bit of a while, but on a massive stage, in front of Turkey Al Sheikh, it's a great opportunity.
Yeah, we had a fight scheduled in June, which fell through, which was quite frustrating for us. But he's been in the gym the whole year, so 23. I don't think he needs 75 amateur fights. He's had a lot of professional fights. He's not like he's already been a European champion, an IBO world champion. So, this whatever it's been, it will be like 9 months or whatever. It's not the end of the world. So he's as long as he gets out there and boxes smart and is sensible and then warms into it, I don't think it will feel like there's been a long time out of the ring.
There's been a lot of talk since Adam turned pro about him and world titles. He's not far away from it. Obviously, you mentioned the IBO there. What does he need to do to be in that sort of conversation to get that world title shot?
Just keep winning. Yeah, I think get the right eyeballs on you. Keep winning in good fashion, a good knockout, and you just keep bumping up rankings. And he's 23 years of age, and he knows his time will come. So just keep playing ball and winning, and next thing you know, you'll get your slot.
Something I realised about you is, I was watching some of your documentaries on YouTube and they're absolutely fantastic. How much detail that goes into your training? Things like timing, refueling. How much does that add to not only your fighters, but also yourself as a trainer and making sure that they get the best out of you as well?
It's a good question. I do try and prioritise. We're trying to give the information to the boxers, because at the end of the day, they've got to know when they're needing to fuel and listen to their body. And I think having someone like Adam come in when he's like 18, 19 years of age, he's now 23, he's been in the gym a long time, he knows the system. So, and he's really diligent in the way he prepares. And I think that's just because he's been around the likes of Billam-Smith and all of the world champions over the years, you know what I mean? So, come in first as Luke Campbell, who was proper strict and militant as well. So, that's just the most important thing. You've got to make sure that you're giving your best of myself as a coach, and they've got to give the best of themselves as an athlete. And sometimes coming in the gym super heavy, going out living a stupid lifestyle, and then coming in and it's like a fat camp. You're not going to get the best out of the camp. He's not going to get the best out of themselves as a boxer or me as a coach. And then the results won't showcase that. So there's kind of an ethos in the gym that it's like a professional outfit. Adam obviously doesn't drink. Chris doesn't drink. I don't drink. None of it. Not many people, balloon up and down and wait and binge out. So it's kind of. You might think we're a bit boring, but we're just trying to optimize ourselves.
Something that struck me being here with Adam today is how big he is. For 140, do you think it's inevitable that we'll see him move up to 147, 154 potentially?
Yeah, he has the frame. If you look at the likes of Crawford, for instance, he was a monster at lightweight, and I think Adam's a big light welter. But when he first came in the gym, he was like, I can do lightweight. Definitely, he could have easily at that time, but now he's a solid 140. He could never get down to 135. And yes, in time he'll be moving up to 147 for sure, but he's got a lot of business to do down at 140.
Someone his name's been linked with a lot is obviously Dalton Smith. He takes on Subriel Mateus. How do you see that? Early January, I think. How do you see that fight playing out? And obviously, if Dalton was to get the win, that's just a mega clash right there for Adam.
Yeah, I think Mateus, you can look at it two ways. He could be all wrong for Dalton because of the pace that he sets, and he's not like a concussive puncher, but it's like a one punch power. But he's got he holds his power throughout the rounds, and he's very, very resilient with it. But I do think he's fading a little bit. And I don't think he's the fighter he was a few years ago. I think timing is key for Dalton, but timing will be key for the fight as well, because Dalton is a sharp counter puncher, and the fact that he doesn't like to force the fight, Dalton, and he certainly won't have to force it against Mateus. He can go pick his spots, use his feet to get in and out, and Mateus has got slow feet. But I think if Dalton doesn't make a dent on him in the first, 5-6 rounds, it would definitely get tougher and down the stretch. But I think he will. I think he'll come away either points or maybe late stoppage.
I mean, it's early days. Obviously, Adam's got to get his fight out of the way, but I mean, him and Dalton just seems like an inevitable clash that could be done. I mean, Hillsborough or I mean, wherever. It's just inevitable to happen.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's always going to be talked up. Like, no one's shy of that fight. It just has to make sense. And the only people that have been impatient for that fight is the promoters. It's not necessarily. And Dalton's been getting forced to say what he's been told to say by Eddie, because Eddie wants to get the fight for cheaper. As if you let the fight materialize and the two of them, get to a certain stage in their career at world level, then the fight's more expensive for the promotion. So it's a sensible thing that both of the boxers have done. And even though there's been a bit of name calling and slagging, I think there's a lot of respect there. And I think in time they will box, and I'm very confident in my man to come away with a win.
Chris Billam-Smith obviously just had his the purse bid with Fress, and then he pulled out of it. Can you just talk to me about the situation with Chris at the moment and what you're eyeing up for him to do next year?
Yeah, we're looking at the opportunities for Chris. I mean, he's he's had a fantastic career, and I think he's still got a lot left in him, and he's got a great brand and a great name. There was a frustration around the purse bid, but I get it. The broadcasters don't really want to put the money up for a fight like that. I mean, personally, I think it'd be quite a good fight, and it could have been a good homecoming for Chris to bring back to Bournemouth. But we have to get the promoter to put the money up for it, and I think but there's a lot of opportunities out there for Chris. He's got obviously the likes of Optay, then you've got a couple of other people around the cruiserweight division and maybe up at Bridgerweight as well. So we'll sit tight and just do what's best for him.
Did it surprise you that Boxer didn't get involved in the purse bid? Obviously, they were there for his world title reign and all throughout most of his career, but were you shocked that they didn't get involved in the purse bid?
Not here for a slagging match, so I'll just refrain from that one. But we were in communications with them, so we knew that what was going on.
Obviously, he fought Zerdo, one of the best in the division. What does he need to do to get back to that? I mean, Opatay is a fight that's been linked to him as well. What does Chris need to do that he didn't do in the Zerdo fight, and then obviously to get back into world title contention?
Well, styles make fights, and I think someone like Opatay is a phenomenal puncher, but doesn't have the punch output and doesn't work in the same ranges that Zerdo does. And I think someone like Chris gets a lot of the success up close, and he's boxing a guy that effectively has been down as low as super middleweight, massive for the weight, and now he's up at cruiserweight, got a phenomenal chin, really comfortable, Mexican, comfortable in the pocket, spent his whole career fighting close. So he was super seasoned there. And I think, that was just it was a frustrating time for Chris. He didn't make the dents that he wanted to make on him. Broke his hand, got cracked his rib. Like, there was a lot of things, and he got cut as well. So it wasn't the best of nights for him. But he did what all champions do, and he persevered and got through it. He lost the fight, but you can learn from it and move on.
Ellie Scotney, unfortunately, out of her fighting for Undisputed. I mean, it was a great win for her earlier in the year, but obviously shame to be out of this one coming up.
Yeah, shame. Like her, she's suffered an injury, but hopefully we can get it rescheduled for the new year. I mean, we're looking at January, hopefully maybe February, and there was an issue with her opponent having to do her mandatory. But I think we're able to push that. It's only getting pushed back a month or two, so I think all parties will allow it to go on, hopefully.
Obviously, she was on the Jake Paul Tank Davis undercard. I mean, yeah, crazy fight. But what is your opinion on that as a boxing man? Obviously, seeing Jake Paul take on a current world champion.
There's a current world champion, and there's a lightweight who should be really a featherweight. I don't think it's up for much discussion, really. It's just like, it's not. If it turns out to be a competitive fight, like it'll be a joke. I think, you know what I mean. So I just think, like, there's you've got Tank Davies, who's an unbelievable fighter, but he's so small, and you got Jake Paul, that's not terrible, but he's like still novice-y and got a decent amount of power. But he's just so big, and like he won't let Tank get close to him, and they're wearing 12-ounce gloves, which is gonna, I think they're wearing 12s. Even I just don't think Tank will be able to make the dent in him that he could, even a middleweight. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's just a huge discrepancy in size, and it's a bit of a shame that Tank has taken that payout, and then that will go on his record. I know it's an exhibition, but people will still remember it for him. Remember, him being the guy that boxed Jake Paul. And if you look at Tommy Fury, like Tommy Fury's a big lad, and he's got a decent jab, and he can keep it at range. Tank he walks in a lot, and you just think to yourself, like, you're just gonna be getting pinned at the end of the jab, and I think he might lose.
Jake Paul, obviously, people talk about him a lot as a fighter, but MVP have done a lot for women's boxing. Obviously, Amanda Serrano at the forefront of that. I guess as a coach, providing opportunities for Ellie, MVP are doing a phenomenal job in the women's boxing space.
Oh yeah, for sure. They know how to promote, and they know how to build narrative around boxers, and that's the most important thing. Ellie's got a fantastic personality, and they're trying to showcase it in the best light. So, Nikisa is doing a good job, and the team behind the scenes are all very good at what they do. So, we just we're grateful that she's on that. She's getting looked after out there.
Rattled through the last couple. Caroline Dubois, what's next for her? I mean, she fought on the Royal Albert Hall show in March. What can we expect from Caroline Dubois coming up?
Hopefully, we'll have news in the next week or two. So it's been the same thing as with everyone, with Boxer losing not working with Sky any longer. And it's been this massive transition period, and it's been frustrating for everybody involved. But we've done our best for Caroline, and we've got everything on the table, and hopefully we'll have some news soon.
I'm not sure if this is one for you as a trainer, but with BBC obviously being, maybe doing a limited amount of shows a year and where they can go to do their shows, does it limit the opportunities that guys like Adam can get? I mean, are they still able to box on other platforms? Does it hinder their ability to get the right opponents, for example, being on BBC compared to maybe another platform?
I'm not sure you got to ask the promoter on that one, but I mean, I think they're going to always prioritise a guy like Adam Azim. If they've got 4 shows, he'll probably take 3 of them. So it's about the lower tier fighters, and that's where it's going to be an issue for if you've got a prospect coming through, you might not get as regular fights. But I think they've done a deal with another platform to work with, so they'll do the main shows of BBC and build out other shows on another platform, another broadcast platform. So, but Boxer are a good outfit, and they're doing their thing, and they're persevering. It's a hard industry to survive in, and they're surviving. So that's the most important thing.
Obviously, we've got Eubank, Benn, Adams obviously on the undercard. What do you see from the rematch? Will it be round 13, or will it be a different fight, in your opinion?
I think they're doing it. They're doing it for the for the action. I think they're doing it for the drama and the performance. They know that they're not at that top level. Especially Chris Eubank, he's not at that top level when it comes to a fighter. I think every time he stepped up, he's not won, and he's boxing a guy that's smaller, and he's fighting them the way he wants to fight him, the way that Conor wants to fight. In short, I think he'll be better prepared. I think he'll come away with the victory in this one, only because I've had guys out sparring him in the last camp, and we've had guys sparring him in this camp, and they say he's definitely more. I think you had some issues going on in the last camp that didn't allow him to train at the optimal, at his optimal. So I think with this one, I think he's better prepared. But Conor as well learned from that last one, so I think it will be an exciting fight. There's definitely excitement in that, and they both. I mean, Chris was hurt more than Conor, but I think Conor definitely was hurt with the accumulation of punches. And I think if you look at it for what it is, an exciting fight with the drama and the personalities and the history there, then that's the great spectacle for the fans.
Final one for me, Daniel Dubois, obviously once one of your fighters. Has Daniel changed much as a fighter since you were with him, and what do you reckon Daniel will do next in his career, obviously after losing to Alexander Usyk?
No, he hasn't changed much at all. I don't think he changed much when he was with me, and I tend to feel like I change quite a lot of fighters and get them to change, but it's because he doesn't understand and want to change. I think he believes what he does is he looks at what he does well and tries to do that just do more of that rather than brush up on his weaknesses. And I think that will always be his limiting factor. But he's going with 20 Sims, I think, and I think he will get him to attack more and more and more, and I think he'll win. Like if there's guys that are fragile, but if guys can take a shot and got a bit of movement and a bit about them, then I think he'll come unstuck a little bit.
Shane, top man, thank you very much for your time, mate. Cheers.